A driver once handed me $1,000 for a fix that took me 2 minutes and a $10 part. That's when it hit me. The car industry's been holding you back on purpose. After 30 years in the garage, I've uncovered 19 forbidden tricks that can unlock your car's true potential. More horsepower, smoother rides, and better mileage. And yeah, I got receipts. The last one I tried on my daily driver 5 years ago. Now it's sitting at 700,000 miles, still purring like new. Let's roll. Trick number 19, water methanol injection. A fine mist of water and methanol cools intake temps, fights detonation, and lets you run more boost and more aggressive timing. The payoff is real. Most users see gains up to about 15%, depending on tune and hardware. I tried this on a turbo Ford with a conservative factory tune. Mid-range torque woke up. Throttle response tightened. The little turbo that used to lag now pulls harder out of corners. The dyno numbers weren't fantasy. They were real, measurable gains where heat had been the limiter. Not everyone agrees on this. Some people call it gimmicky. Others say it's dangerous if done wrong. And they're not wrong. Water and meth sits in a legal gray area in many places. It can fail emissions tests or be considered an illegal modification. And if the injection stops mid-run without protections, you can expose the engine to detonation. If you try it, do it right. Buy a reputable kit. Get a proper tune and real-time monitoring for air, fuel, and knock. Add fail-safes that cut boost or enrich fuel if the system fails. And just when you think your engine's awake, there's a little trick that can snap your car out of autopilot. Trick number 18, throttle body reset. Modern cars ditched the old-school throttle cable for sensors and software that literally learn how you drive. That system builds a profile of your habits. If you're light on the pedal, it assumes you're always a Sunday driver. But if you've been heavy-footed lately, it'll adjust for that too. Sometimes a little too much. Either way, your throttle ends up confused, sluggish, and nowhere near its potential. Every throttle reset wipes that memory clean, like hitting the refresh button on your car's brain. It's stupid simple. Turn the key to on. Don't start the engine. Press the gas pedal all the way down for 10 seconds, turn the key off, release the pedal, wait another 10 seconds, then fire it up. No tools, no mechanic, no degree in rocket science. The change hits immediately, the pedal wakes up, acceleration feels snappier, and the idle settles smoother than before. You'll even notice it at the pump. Most drivers see their mileage climb by 2 to 4 miles per gallon, sometimes more if your throttle was really out of sync. Dealerships love charging $100 for this service. You'll love doing it yourself in under a minute. Your throttle's awake now, but what if your engine could breathe better too? Trick number 17, secret air path. Manufacturers intentionally restrict airflow to keep noise down and meet emissions rules. That means the air entering your engine is slower, warmer, and less dense. And when air is limited, so is power. By drilling a few small holes on the cold side of the airbox, the section before the air filter, you let more cool air rush in. It looks old-styled, and it is, but it works. Cooler air carries more oxygen. More oxygen means stronger combustion. The payoff? Sharper throttle response, smoother acceleration, and a noticeably more alive engine. Drivers often notice quicker takeoffs, smoother pulls, and even a small bump in fuel economy. It's not a massive horsepower gain, but it makes your car feel awake, like it's finally breathing right. Ignore it, and your engine keeps running half asleep, leaving performance on the table. Just make sure the holes are placed before the filter. You want air, not dirt, getting inside. Breathing easier is one thing. Now it's time to unleash the real roar. Trick number 16, removing the muffler. Freeing up your exhaust instantly wakes your engine. Less back pressure means your car breathes easier. That translates to 4 to 5 extra horsepower acceleration snaps. Throttle response sharpens. But this comes with consequences. The roar is loud, really loud. Too loud can get you in trouble. In states like California and Texas, fines can easily top $500. There's another side effect. The check engine light may appear. Sensors notice the unusual exhaust flow. It's harmless but persistent, and it can sometimes mask other genuine engine issues. This is not a subtle upgrade. You're trading quiet for presence. Every rev demands attention. The power gain is real, and the sound alone makes it feel alive. For enthusiasts craving an aggressive, responsive ride, this tweak delivers instantly. It's bold, it's loud, it's illegal in some places, and it reminds you what your engine can really do when you remove the restrictions holding it back. Still here? You're beating 90% of drivers. Smash like and subscribe to keep your car ahead of the pack. Trick number 15, MAF sensor cleaning. Hidden inside your intake is a tiny sensor called the mass airflow sensor. Its job? To measure how much air rushes into the engine so the computer knows exactly how much fuel to mix with it. Sounds simple, right? But here's the problem. Even a thin layer of dust throws it completely off. When that happens, your car starts acting weird. The idle shakes, acceleration lags, and you burn more gas just to go the same distance. It's not that your engine's weak, it's confused. The dirty sensor feeds it bad data, and the computer makes poor decisions. Cleaning it feels like giving your car new eyes. All you need is a $10 can of MAF cleaner, not brake cleaner. That stuff's too harsh. Unplug the sensor, spray short bursts to wash off the grime, and let it dry for 10 minutes. Start the car afterward and you'll feel it. Crisp throttle, smoother idle, even better mileage. This simple fix instantly restores your car's focus. With vision restored, the veins demand attention. Trick number 14. Fuel filter upgrade. Most drivers don't realize their lifetime fuel filter isn't actually for life. Over time, dirt, rust, and debris clog it, starving your engine of fuel, pressure drops, acceleration slows, misfires happen under load, and your car gulps more gas to compensate. It's a silent performance killer hiding beneath your feet. The fix? Add an external inline fuel filter between the tank and engine bay. Transparent housings let you see exactly what's flowing. No guesswork, no $400 dealership service. Clean, consistent fuel flow means sharper acceleration, smoother idling, and fewer injector issues. Your fuel pump works less, extending its life. Swapping the filter takes minutes and costs under $10. Think of it as giving your car a brand new bloodstream. Steady, clean, and powerful. You catch dirt before it becomes damage, swap filters in minutes, and keep fuel pressure rock solid on every drive. Fuel flows freely now, but carbon's lurking like a ghost inside. There's a stealthy way to scrub it clean. Trick number 13. Steam cleaning engine. Every explosion inside those cylinders leaves behind microscopic soot, which hardens into black deposits that steal power and waste fuel. It's like your engine's arteries are clogged, gasping for air and efficiency. But here's the twist. The cure isn't fancy or expensive. It's water. Yep, the same thing that comes out of your tap. When you feed a fine mist of water into the intake of a hot, running engine, science takes over. The heat instantly turns that mist into steam, and that steam scrubs away carbon like a pressure washer inside the combustion chamber. The trick is precision. Too much water can flood the system, but just enough purges years of grime safely. Afterwards, the change feels unreal. The idle smooths out, throttle response sharpens, and the engine suddenly runs cooler and quieter. Even emissions drop because combustion becomes cleaner and more complete. It's one of those rare tricks that feels almost illegal because it works so well. A few careful sprays, and your car exhales decades of buildup, suddenly breathing like it just rolled off the lot. We're getting to the best part. Now it's time to ignite performance where it really matters. Trick number 12. Spark plug gap adjustment. Ever wonder why some cars just feel snappier off the line, even with the same engine? The secret often hides in a space smaller than a grain of rice. The spark plug gap. That tiny distance decides how strong your ignition spark really is. Too wide, and the spark weakens under pressure. Too tight, and it struggles to ignite. Most factory pre-gapped plugs aren't perfect. Vibration, handling, or lazy quality control leave small inconsistencies that rob you of crisp throttle response. The fix? Close the gap by about 0.02 inches. It's a 5-minute tweak that supercharges the spark, firing faster and cleaner every single cycle. Once dialed in, the difference is immediate. The engine revs quicker, acceleration feels more direct, and idle becomes whisper smooth. Cold starts, instant fuel economy, noticeably better. It's precision work with a big reward, the kind of microscopic adjustment that turns an average tune into something that feels tuned by a pro. Your engine's awake, but the next tweak lets your car glide like it's on rails. Trick number 11. Underbody smoothing. Air doesn't just flow over your car, it flows underneath too, and most cars are built with rough, uneven underbodies. That creates drag, slows you down, and wastes fuel. The fix? DIY underbody panels. Smooth out the bottom of your car, seal gaps, and you can reduce aerodynamic drag by up to 25%. Less drag means better fuel economy and improved handling. Your car feels more planted in corners, and the highway becomes easier on the gas. Installation is simple. Panels can be made from lightweight plastic or thin aluminum sheets. Bolt or rivet them into place, making sure nothing interferes with moving parts. But there are risks. At high speeds, panels can loosen or detach if not secured properly. They can also block access to important components during maintenance. Precision and care are key. When done right, the payoff is impressive. Every drive feels more controlled, your car responds sharper, and fuel savings start stacking up. Well, why stop there? Grip the ground and take command of it. Trick number 10. Using oversized tires. They give you better grip off-road, whether it's mud, sand, or rocky trails. Higher clearance keeps obstacles from scraping the underbody, and let's be honest, they look incredible. Big tires make your ride look aggressive, purposeful, and ready for adventure. That means stepping up from something like a 265/70 R17, your typical stock tire. to a beefy 35-inch or even 37-inch setup. The benefits are real: more traction, better stability, and improved clearance for rocks, ruts, and uneven terrain. But the stakes are high. Tires this large put extra stress on the drivetrain, can affect suspension geometry, and slightly distort speedometer readings. Fuel economy drops as well, especially on long road trips. Some skeptics argue these drawbacks outweigh the benefits. But for off-road enthusiasts or anyone who wants that commanding look and feel, the payoff is clear. Use larger tires, mainly for off-road trips or when you want that impact. On paved roads, stick to stock size. Your car's body has evolved. Now the brain needs to relearn how to perform. Trick number 9, ECU relearn cycle. When you disconnect the battery, the ECU engine control unit loses its memory. All the tiny adjustments it learned about your driving style, fuel mix, and idle balance vanish in seconds. What's left is a blank computer that has to relearn everything from scratch. Here's how to teach it properly. Start the car and let it idle completely untouched for about 15 minutes. No revving, no AC, no brake taps. Just let it breathe. During that quiet period, the ECU studies your engine's natural rhythm, adjusting the fuel trims, air ratios, and idle speed to find balance again. When done right, the difference is night and day. The throttle feels smoother, shifts become cleaner, and fuel economy evens out. Most people rush this step, and their cars never fully adapt. But give your ECU that short reset window, and it'll reward you with perfect timing and a drive that feels factory fresh again. Trick number 8, adding oil additives. Additives like high molybdenum and ZDP coat metal parts with a slick protective film. That layer cuts down friction, lowers engine temps, and quiets things under heavy load or high RPM. If your engine's pushing past 150,000 miles, this stuff can feel like a tune-up in a bottle. Even tired engines start to sound smoother after a few drives. They also help keep oil pressure steady between changes, which means more consistent performance over time. But here's the catch. The market is full of flashy claims. You've got to know what actually works. Many miracle bottles are just rebadged base oils with fancy labels. Always add your chosen additive during an oil change, while the engine's still warm so it mixes properly. Once it circulates, you'll feel smoother acceleration, steadier idle, and sometimes a small bump in fuel economy. But don't overdo it. More isn't better. Too much can mess with viscosity and oil flow. Stick to the right dose, note what you use, and pay attention. Just remember, some manufacturers and warranties don't love oil modifiers, so weigh the benefits before you pour. The engine flows smoother, but the next one shows which whispers inside the system are lying to you. Trick number 7, oxygen sensor shortcut. A dirty oxygen sensor lies like a bad witness. It sends false air fuel readings to your ECU, tricking your engine into running too rich or too lean. The result? Wasted fuel, rough idle, and fouled spark plugs. A full replacement can cost anywhere from $100 to $400 per sensor, depending on your car. But here's a cheaper, clever shortcut. Remove the sensor carefully using a proper O2 sensor socket. Soak the tip overnight in sensor-safe cleaner. Something like CRC Mass Airflow Sensor Cleaner or Liqui Moly Pro Line, both around $10 to $15 a can. Avoid harsh solvents like brake or carb cleaner. They'll destroy the sensor. If carbon buildup clings on, use a soft brush to gently scrub it off. Let it dry completely before reinstalling, then reset the fuel trims. You'll often notice smoother idle, better throttle response, and cleaner combustion almost right away. This trick saves money and emissions, but don't use it on damaged or heated sensors too often. If readings still lag after cleaning, it's time for a professional replacement. Your gears can also hide their secrets, and it's time to unlock them. Trick number 6, transmission flush. Vehicle transmissions rarely fail overnight. They wear out slowly, poisoned by dirty fluid that nobody ever changes. Manufacturers love to call it lifetime fluid, but that's a marketing myth. Heat, friction, and debris slowly break down the fluid, turning it dark and sticky. Over time, that sludge clogs tiny passages inside the transmission, leading to harsh shifts, slipping gears, and eventual failure. The trick is to refresh the fluid gradually, not all at once. Instead of doing a full flush, which can actually shock an old transmission, drain and refill about a third of the fluid every 10,000 to 15,000 miles. This keeps the system clean without dislodging too much buildup at once. After 3 cycles, you'll have replaced nearly all of the old fluid safely. Drivers who follow this method often notice smoother gear changes, quicker throttle response, and lower operating temperatures. It also extends the life of seals and clutches hidden deep inside the gearbox. Moving on, how about we free up the path your exhaust has been choking on? Trick number 5. Propane injection on gas engines. It sounds wild, but it works. Propane injection adds a secondary fuel source to your gasoline engine, creating cleaner and cooler combustion. Think of it as giving your car a controlled shot of oxygen-rich fuel. The result? More complete burns, sharper throttle response, and serious power gains. Sometimes up to 100 extra horsepower, though most setups see around 50. Propane burns at a lower temperature than gasoline, which helps prevent detonation and keep cylinder temps in check. That means smoother operation under heavy load and reduced carbon buildup over time. It's popular among performance tuners and truck owners who want more torque without switching to nitrous or forced induction. But this trick isn't for everyone. Installation costs can climb past $1,000, and improper setup can lead to insurance or fire code issues. Propane tanks need secure mounting, proper venting, and certified equipment. When installed correctly, though, the difference is dramatic. It's clean, powerful, and efficient, like giving your engine a hidden reserve tank of energy ready on demand. The engine roars cleaner, yet something downstream is quietly choking your performance. Trick number 4. Catalytic converter cleaning. When your car starts feeling sluggish and the check engine light flickers on, it's often not the engine's fault. It's the catalytic converter choking on carbon buildup. This small metal can under your car works hard to clean exhaust gases, but over time it clogs up like a coffee filter filled with mud. Once that happens, exhaust can't flow freely and power drops fast. There's a bold fix that mechanics don't often admit: a catalytic converter flush using lacquer thinner. Pour about half a quart of lacquer thinner into half a tank of gas, and then take your car out on the highway and hold a steady 60 to 70 miles per hour for 20 to 30 minutes. The heat and chemical reaction help burn out built-up carbon and residue from the converter's honeycomb interior. Drivers who've tried this often notice smoother acceleration, cleaner exhaust flow, and even the disappearance of that annoying warning light. It's not a miracle cure for a dead converter, but it can breathe new life into one that's just gunked up. We're down to the last 3. Let's expose the hidden friction silently sapping your power. Trick number 3. Brake caliper lubrication. When the caliper pins get dry or dirty, they don't slide properly. And that tiny bit of friction costs you more than you think. A single sticky caliper can burn through an extra $100 to $150 a year in wasted fuel and worn-out pads. The brakes stay slightly engaged, creating constant drag on the wheels. It's like driving with your foot resting on the pedal all the time. Fuel economy drops, pads wear unevenly, and your rotors heat up faster than they should. The fix? Easier than you'd expect. Pop off the wheel and gently pull the brake caliper. Slide out the guide pins and wipe them clean. You'll often see dried, crusty grease or even light rust. That's your problem right there. Apply a thin layer of high-temperature brake lubricant, about $7 a tube, and reinsert the pins. Once you put everything back together, the difference is immediate. The brakes release more freely, the car coasts smoother, and your fuel mileage quietly climbs back up. You'll also notice your stops feel more even and confident. It's a 30-minute DIY job that saves real money, cooler brakes, better MPG, and a car that feels effortlessly smooth again. Don't forget, a single stubborn filter is taming the beast under the hood. Trick number 2. DPF removal. For diesel owners, the DPF, or diesel particulate filter, is both a savior and a headache. It traps soot to keep emissions clean, but over time it clogs, chokes power, and kills mileage. Removing it, along with the EGR, exhaust gas recirculation system, can feel like setting your engine free. With those restrictions gone, exhaust flows faster, turbo response improves, and many drivers see noticeable gains in both horsepower and fuel efficiency. Maintenance costs drop too. No more expensive filter cleanings or regens that waste fuel. Your diesel breathes easier, runs cooler, and sounds meaner. But here's the catch. It's completely illegal under EPA regulations. Penalties can reach $4,500 per vehicle and up to $250,000 for repeat or commercial offenses. Many states now check for deleted systems during inspections, and even tuning shops risk heavy fines for doing the work. So yes, the performance boost is real, but so are the legal risks. Finally, it's time to let the engine lungs breathe fully. Trick number 1. Secret intake cleaning. Over time, carbon, oil vapors, and unburned fuel stick to the walls of your intake system, forming a black sticky layer that chokes airflow. Less air means less power, rough idling, and sluggish acceleration. It's like trying to sprint while breathing through a straw. Your car can't perform at its best. Here's the fix, and it costs less than lunch. Grab a can of CRC intake cleaner or Seafoam. Both are about $8. Warm up the engine, hold the RPMs around 2000, and spray short bursts of cleaner directly into the intake tube. The engine will stumble, maybe even smoke a bit. That's the carbon burning off. Keep going in small intervals until the smoke fades. When you're finished, change is obvious. The engine suddenly feels eager, breathing freely instead of struggling. It responds faster when you tap the gas and climbs through the revs without hesitation. You might even notice a quieter idle and less vibration at stoplights. It's not just smoother, it feels stronger and more alive, like your car just remembered how powerful it was meant to be. You've seen how far these tricks can push your car. Cleaner, stronger, smoother. And this is just the beginning. Don't miss the next video. Doing this will make your engine run like new.